रक्तैश्च गोप्य मोहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तं दरं मे मनस्या विरास्तामलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यैति दीनं बतानु गृहाणि क्षमामज्जं यदि यक्षदृश्ये कुबेरात्मजो भद्वमुत्वैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभजो कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकमे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्तेऽस्तु धाम्ने स्फुरद्दीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय दामोदरा जयो मा कंचोरा जयो दामोदरा जयो मा कंचोरा दामोदरा जयो मा कंचोरा जयो दामोदरा जयो मा कंचोरा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा दामोदरी राधा दामोदरी राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे 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 श्री राधे राधा रानी की जय महारानी की जय बोलो वृषभानु दुलारी जय 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 Hare Krishna. Welcoming all you devotees for today's Nectar of Devotion class. I hope all of you had a nice Deepavali celebrations. And we continue with our Nectar of Devotion. Mataji, if you can make Purna Nandini as co-host so that I can share the screen.
Sure, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So we'll start with the prayers to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajananande Namattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the main aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha Krishna. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Is the screen visible, devotees?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah. So we have to start from in the statements of Sukadev Goswami. It is said, right? Hare Krishna.
Mataji, we have to start chapter 2, Mataji, today.
Start chapter 2. No, you said from a message I saw from this one 15, right? No. Start itself chapter 2, is it?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, we completed chapter 1 last
No.
Friday.
Your message. Okay, maybe I didn't read it properly. Okay, we have to start chapter 2, is it? Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
From I see Mataji to continue from para 10 to 15 of chapter 2.
Yes, Mataji. Last week, Susevika Mataji started chapter 2.
So should I start the chapter?
Yes, Mataji. Sorry, bad, Mataji. Yes, you're right.
Sorry, Mataji. 10th paragraph, Mataji. Purnanandi Mataji, you have to start from 10 chapter, 10 paragraph.
Yes, 10th. Sorry,
right? Yeah, okay.
Yes, Mataji. Sorry, I just got confused. Sorry, Mataji.
Okay, so yeah, now I went back. 1 second. So that is just a second.
10 to 15, Mataji. You're right. Hare Krishna. Sorry.
Yeah. Now this sadhana bhakti. We have to start from there, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, now 1 second. I'm just scrolling. Yeah, from here, right? Now this sadhana bhakti. Devotees want to read? Hare Krishna.
Can I read?
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Okay.
You can
Hare
read.
Krishna,
Start
everyone.
reading.
Hare Krishna, everyone, and welcome to this new week. Okay, now this sadhana bhakti practice of devotional service may also be divided into two parts. The first part is called service according to regulative principles. One has to follow these different regulative principles by the order of the spiritual master or on the strength of authoritative scriptures, and there can be no question of refusal. That is called vaidhi or regulated. uh, One has to do it without argument. Another part of sadhana bhakti is called raganuga. Raganuga refers to the point at which, by following the regulative principles, one becomes a little more attached to Krishna and executes devotional service out of natural love. For example, a person engaged in devotional service may be ordered to rise early in the morning and offer arati, which is a form of deity worship. In the beginning of, by the order of the spiritual master, one rises early in the morning and offers arati, but then he develops real attachment. When he gets this attachment, he automatically tries to decorate the deity and prepare different kinds of dresses and things of different plans to execute his devotion service nicely. Although it is within the category of practice, this offering of loving service is spontaneous. So the practice of devotion service, sadhana bhakti, can be divided into two parts, namely regulative and spontaneous.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So Vaidhi Bhakti and Raghunaga Bhakti is what is spoken about here. Now first we are talking of Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti is something that we are given instructions about, right? Like say chant 16 rounds, read Srimad Bhagavatam, associate with devotees. I mean, if you take from Ato Shraddha, Tata Ato Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, all these things, we, though bhakti is innate in us. What do I mean by saying innate? The example Srila Prabhupada gives is a child when it starts to walk, right? When it wants to walk, I mean, when it's coming up to 1 year, it starts to walk. It takes help of some things, the wall or the chair, and then it starts walking. Srila Prabhupada says it is able to do that because it is already inherent, it is already there in the child. It is not something new, only it has forgotten. So the same way, the sadhana bhakti as such, right? Bhakti as such is innate in us, is inherent in us. It is swabhavika for us, right? But only because of this samparka with the jada vastu or the bhautika jagat, we have forgotten. So the instructions of the guru or the Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas, or the Shiksha gurus, what happens? They give us lot of sadhanas. Then what happens? We start getting taste for some things, if not for all the things, we start getting taste. Some maybe have little taste for chanting, some have taste for doing devotional service, like even in among devotional service, some may want to do garland service, some may want to do deity worship, some may want to clean the temple, some may want to preach, and even in preaching, some may want to preach to the children. By doing this, what happens is the endeavor. We are in the Damodar month. The whole aspect of Damodar month, the two fingers, whole aspect of Damodar month is the first finger, which represents the endeavor. The Lord sees our endeavor, right? Two things, that we are following the instructions of his very dear devotees like the Guru and senior Vaishnavas. And the second aspect is that we are, constantly endeavoring. And because of that, he will give us taste in different various, in whatever sadhana we are doing. It may not be constant. I may do today I may do chanting very nicely, I might get a little taste, but tomorrow again I may not have the same taste. That is because of the anarthas that we have. But still, that we kind of try to hanker for that. That day I tasted, yesterday it was so nice chanting, I want to do, so I'll continue. So the best example given in Srimad Bhagavatam is about Sri Narada Muni. After after his mother passes away, right? And then because of his devotion, that service that he does for the Vaishnavas in the Chaturmasya, and then takes the remnants of the Vaishnavas, he gets a flickering glimpse of the Lord. Okay. And he gets a flickering glimpse, and then and the Lord vanishes. He just, it's like a lightning. The Lord, he sees the Lord and then he goes away. Then Narada Muni is crying, he's crying. He said, "No, oh Lord, no, I want, what is this? I just saw you. It was something unexplainable. Like he's saying, I want to see you." And then he hears a voice. Then he says, the voice, the Lord says, "In this birth, this is all that you have. But in your next birth, you will, you will be given a benediction that you can see me anytime." So what does Narada Muni do eventually? Then he goes, if you read Bhagavatam, he goes around, and then his sadhana bhakti increases. His sadhana bhakti increases so much that in his next birth, that he is one among the devotees where he can go and see the Lord anytime, and he is given that transcendental veena and all that. So sadhana bhakti, though at the starting it may looks as forced, or something that we don't like, or we are forcing ourselves, but then the taste when we get, and the mercy that flows through the Lord is immense, right? So that is about sadhana bhakti, which they are talking about here. And that's why Srila Prabhupada, if one is a full-time practicing devotee in the temple, or even if we are practicing at home, if we follow what Srila Prabhupada has given, Mangalarati, chanting, and then Srimad Bhagavatam, and then the brahmacharis or people who want to go out for book distribution, or we have festivals every other month. There is festival, so for each festival there is something different. After Damodar month, now book distribution will come in December, and then evening again, Bhagavad Gita class and this. So the whole time we are what are we doing? We are doing sadhana bhakti, and eventually what happens? It will when we develop the taste, then it can come to raga anuga bhakti, right? So in this aspect of it is very detailedly described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadambini. So as of now, I mean, at least I'm talking from my perspective, sadhana bhakti, whether we like it or not like it, it is good to just follow it, because the I mean, the taste of bhakti just increases by the day. And why does it increase? Because by doing sadhana bhakti, we are reducing our anarthas, and only when the anarthas come, lessen, and then the dust on the mirror of our soul keeps on getting less, then our bhakti increases, right? That is what is about sadhana bhakti and raganuga bhakti. Raganuga bhakti, to explain, I mean, definitely I'm not qualified, nor do I know what is raganuga bhakti, only from what I have heard. I mean, it is very spontaneous, like how can we say, like for a mother, spontaneous it is. Anything that she sees good, anything that is best, she would want for her child, right? Or for any parent. That spontaneity for bhakti is something, I mean, is called raga anuga bhakti. So hopefully all of us, let's pray to the Guru Parampara that all of us move towards from the Vaidhi Bhakti, or the Vaidhi Bhakti to Raga Anuga Bhakti. Okay, so
I have a small question, Mataji.
Yes,
Means
Prabhu.
the Prabhupada's standard was to get early in the morning for Mangalarti, but
Hmm.
nowadays due to work-life balance, I am not going to get early in the morning. And if I get early in the morning, it affects my health. Means
Mhm.
it affects my digestive system. I get headaches, so I
Hmm.
sleep
Hmm.
like 5:30, 6 o'clock. But then
Hmm.
Prabhupada has told us to get up at 4 o'clock, which I don't do like. So is
Hmm.
it okay? Like.
Who is speaking, if I can ask? I mean, I'm not able to see here. Who's asking this question, please? Hare Krishna.
My name is Virendra Ekbote. I stay in Thane. So I just want to tell that
Yours.
I'm not able to
You're
do that
in
Vedic.
Thane, right?
Yes, yes.
You're connected to any local temple center there,
No,
Prabhu?
I know all this. No, I know all the rules and regulations. I'm following since 1999, but I'm not able to do that Vaidhi Bhakti properly. I'm not able to get up early in the morning because of the work-life balance. So is it okay? What if I get little bit late at 6 o'clock like that?
Let's do what we can do. It is, if the Lord definitely knows, because of your work life balance, you are not able to wake up early and other things, and eventually it will get ironed out. And then if your desire is so strong to follow what Srila Prabhupada says, that you want to wake up at 4 o'clock and chant, it will happen. For now, do what is in our scope of work. Chanting is important, and then things will iron out then. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yashoba Mataji, please read the next.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol, Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Jai Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Rupa Goswami defines the first part of devotional practice of Vaidhi Bhakti as follows. When there is no attachment or no spontaneous loving service to the Lord, the one is engaged in the service of the Lord simply out of the obedience to the order of the spiritual master or in pursuance of the scriptures. Such obligatory service is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So, Vaidhi Bhakti also, this Acharya, I mean, this lecture that I was listening, also says Vaidhi Bhakti has lot of rules that we have to follow. And Vaidhi Bhakti like if you say if we have to do deity worship, then only somebody who is Brahmanical initiated, only they can do deity worship and things like that, right? But then the Raganuga Bhakti is Bhagavata Bhakti also, the Prabhu was mentioning, is with much less of rules. It is more of Shravanam and Kirtanam. See, for Shravanam and Kirtanam, not much of, actually no rules at all. See, for Shravanam or Kirtanam, chanting, when we were new to ISKCON, when we were new, I remember our mentors or the Bhakti Vriksha that we were attending, the first thing they said was chanting can be done anytime. You are as soon as you get up, you can start chanting. It's okay whether you have had a bath, not had a bath, and then irrespective of the person, whether it is a child, man, woman, caste, creed, nothing is applied, right? So it is more on the aspect of spontaneity and more purifying, right? So that is with the Ragana Bhakti. But the Vaidhi Bhakti as such has a lot of rules that we have to follow. And following those rules, what happens? Our purification, that much more our purification happens. Like, for example, when each time I do Achmana, before trying to offer or doing deity worship, when we do Achmana, what is it that we do? We say Keshwaya Nama, Narayana, you're taking the Lord's name. So each time you're taking the Lord's name, it is so much more purifying for the soul, for the individual, for the devotee. So Vaidhi Bhakti helps us to move towards this aspect of Raganuga Bhakti, or it is trying to help us to actually make us understand our true self, right? By doing this, by this purificatory process, what happens is that we are becoming closer to our true self. Whereas as of now, we are in this cage called body, and then we so much identify ourselves with the body that we forget our true self. Even every time preaching happens, so many times you would have spoken about, I'm not this body, I'm the soul. But then immediately after the class or during the day, when I'm thinking back about the class, this question always arises to me, that how much am I able to inculcate this, that aspect that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Because when we realize this aspect, I'm the body, I'm the soul, and I'm not the body, then nothing, health, no obstacles will look as obstacles, because any obstacle we will understand it is only for the body, it is not for the soul, right? And when we try to depend more on the Lord, then that obstacle, whatever is coming in our way, it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be physiological, it can be the three, this thing, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika, from any of these three. If we are able to identify ourselves when we are going through this process of the obstacle to our devotional service, that it is affecting only my body and not the soul, if we are able to bring ourselves to that thought, and the next thought that we can do is like, okay, devotional service is above all this, and then if we can still pursue our devotional service, even if it is a little bit initially, then we will be able to move above this aspect of body and go to the platform of the soul, thinking on the platform of the soul. And then we will still continue doing our Vaidhi Bhakti in a more purified way, which will take us a little more closer to the Raganuga Bhakti, right? So Vaidhi Bhakti is very helpful for us because it reminds us time and again that we are the soul and not the body. Yeah. Krishnamurti Prabhu, you want to read the next paragraph?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Rupa Goswami defines the first.
No. Hare Krishna Prabhu, you have to read from here.
Okay, Mataji. Yes. These principles of Vaidhi Bhakti are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 1st chapter, verse 5. Sukadeva Goswami instructs the dying Maharaja Parikshit as to his course of action. Maharaja Parikshit met Sukadeva Goswami just a week before his death, and the king was perplexed as to what should be done before he was to pass on. Many other sages also arrived there, but no one could give him the proper direction. Sukadeva Goswami, however, gave this direction to him as follows. My dear king, if you want to be fearless in meeting your death next week, for actually everyone is afraid of the point of death, then you must immediately begin to process of hearing and chanting and remembering God. If one can chant and hear Hare Krishna and always remember Lord Krishna, then he is sure to become fearless of death, which may come at any moment. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so now this is a classic example. I mean, like you see the Acharya's perspective. I mean, like Rupa Goswami, we have heard umpteen times about how Srimad Bhagavatam came about, that Maharaj Parikshit was cursed and then Sukadeva Goswami comes there and then he gives. Now, what's the other perspective if you hear to various lectures? See, Maharaj Parikshit attained his perfection just by Shravanam. Okay, he was he knew a week before his. I mean, in a week from now I am going to die. So he was desperate enough to understand what should I do. That because he was already a devotee, and then coming in the lineage of devotees, that in the Pandu lineage, right? That intelligence he got, that what is it that I should be doing. Now, just for a second, let's imagine if we were not in Krishna consciousness, right? And then what would we be doing? I mean, at least if you ask me, I would be thinking, okay, I have to write my will, not that I own crores of property. I mean, just on the lighter note, what should I do? Or, I have not finished this. I have to go there. I have to go here. Or probably I would want to eat something that I like. Then watch some movie, or travel, all these kind of things that would have come to our minds if we were not in KC, Krishna consciousness. Now the other aspect, okay, in Krishna consciousness, if we still can think of why I had not done this service, I have not done that service, and then it may not be possible, whatever our health or our physical conditions may be. So this Maharaj Parikshit example is a perfect this thing to tell us how Bhagavata Vidhi is the supreme most. It is the most uttama. Because what did Maharaj Parikshit do? He, after Sukadev Goswami came, he sat for 7 days and night, and without any concern about eating or sleeping or anything, he just heard Srimad Bhagavatam, right? He Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days, and listening to it from Sukadev Goswami, who is another pure devotee, and then listening to the pastimes of the Lord, not just the pastimes of the Lord, pastimes of the devotees of the Lord. Maharaj Parikshit attained his perfection. We don't see here that he's sitting and he's doing arati, all the Vaidhi bhaktis. He's chanting, or though of course, Srila Prabhupada says anybody is talking about Krishna is also kirtana only. I mean, is also japa only. It is not that only Hare Krishna mantra. For us now in Vaidhi bhakti, yes. For us, kirtana means, for us it is chanting. But for pure devotees, it is a different aspect altogether, because they are already always thinking of the Lord and how to please the Lord, irrespective of the conditions they are in. So just by Shravanam, okay. And then the most important thing here is fearlessness in meeting your death. How many of us are fearless as of now? If we think we are going to die tomorrow. How many of us are fearless?
Not me, Mataji.
Okay, okay, yeah, right. Some amount, I mean,
building up
yes.
that.
Hare Krishna, Mataji,
Friend,
we may
Krishna
actually be
consciousness.
fearless, but when the death comes to us, we don't know how we'll react. We are thinking currently we are fearless. So tomorrow, if Yama comes and tells hi, we may try to run. I don't know. I'm just telling you, practicality could be different from our reality.
From our real, yeah, yes. Somebody else was trying to say something. Yes, please.
Death means it is just a change of body, and soul is eternal. So we should not feel fearless, as in this case. Let anything happen. If we are surrendered to Krishna and devotion, Krishna will take care of us. That is my consciousness.
Okay, thank you, devotees, for sharing that. Yes, see, that is what, Hridayantasto hi abadhrani vidhu noti suhut satam, the abadhrani of the in the heart is what removes, Srimad Bhagavatam removes, right? Very practical aspect Radhika Mataji touched upon, that as of now I may say I'm fearless, but then actually when death is coming, we don't know how we will be able to face it. And the other aspect touched by this Prabhu, that soul is eternal and we are changing body. Prabhu, I just want to say, why are we saying that we are going to change into another body? By saying that, we are already thinking I'm going to come back again into another body.
No,
Right?
means we are now a body and our soul is there inside the body. So when we are surrendered to Krishna, it is said that Vishnu Dutas take us to the spiritual world, because just like that Ajamil story, means just by saying Narayan, so we are doing Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness, we are chanting in the holy name. Just at the time of death, we should remember Krishna, so that Vishnu Dutas will take us to spiritual world. So that is my consciousness. Krishna is there to help us at the time of death.
Okay, so yeah, initially we are in that consciousness. Yes, Krishna will help us to take us, but then we are coming from Rupa Goswami, means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, right, which goes a notch higher. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mahama Janmani Janmani, right? He says it is not a question of whether I go to spiritual world or whether I go to hell or heaven or I'm on earth. The most important aspect for a devotee is devotional service, irrespective of where one is. Even aspiring that Krishna will help us, because I'm in Krishna consciousness and then I'm practicing devotional service, also some kind of desire, right? Because what has to happen, Krishna is aware. Now we don't have to think that because I'm doing this, at the end of death, after that I'm going to spiritual world. I mean, this is the top, what to say, the topmost level that I'm speaking of. But at least we should be aware of it, right? If we are aware of it, irrespective of the body we get, spiritual body or material body, if we are praying that our devotional service is ahaituki and apratihata, that is, it is constant and it doesn't stop for whatever reasons, that is actually more brings the aspect of fearlessness in us. Because what is it ultimately, even when we go to spiritual world, what do we mean by liberation? Because before coming to Krishna consciousness, with whatever little understanding I had about liberation, said, okay, liberation means go there and then you're happy doing nothing kind of stuff. Then only after coming to Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada very clearly said, Krishna, going back to spiritual world means in full force. We are only practicing devotional service here. We will do our devotional service continuously there, non-stop we will do that. So if we have this aspect of doing devotional service, irrespective of where we are, right? So that aspect itself, brings a lot of fearlessness in us. The second aspect, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj said, what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita about death? In the 10th chapter. Anybody wants to try?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mrityu sarva harashaham.
Mrityu sarvasya
Mrityu sarva harashaham.
Sarva harasya. Yeah. That means Krishna is saying he is death, isn't it? Right? I am Kala or death means, so that means Krishna is coming in form of death. So should we be afraid of death then? Because it's another form of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So should it make us fearless or fearful? Devotees?
Actually, fearless.
Fearless, Mataji.
Because it is Krishna, again
Fearless.
Krishna, right? So see, all this little understanding, comes from reading Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And by doing Vaidhi Bhakti, we come to this aspect of fearlessness, and then it helps us to move towards the Raganuga Bhakti, right? Medhavani Mataji, I will ask the other devotees to read. You have raised your hands. If that is okay. Is that okay, Mataji? Okay, thank you. Prashanti Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. In
Hare
the
Krishna.
statements of Sukadeva Goswami, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. Therefore, Sukadeva recommends that one should always hear about Krishna. He does not recommend that one hear and chant about the demigods. The Mayavadis, impersonalists, say that one may chant any name, either that of Krishna or those of demigods, and the result will be the same. But actually, this is not a fact. According to the authorized version of Srimad Bhagavatam, one has to hear and chant about Lord Vishnu, Krishna only. Shall I continue,
Okay. No, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
I will
Mataji.
ask
Hare
another.
Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Then, so we have heard about this in the 10 offenses that we have to avoid against the chanting of the holy name, right? That we should not consider even Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva as equivalent to Lord Krishna, right? In fact, in one of the lectures, Srila Prabhupada clearly says, if you keep chanting Kali, 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 it is not the same as chanting Krishna. And he says you chant and try, or any other mundane, somebody who is very famous, it can be famous for whatever. If you are chanting their name, you will degrade yourself, as Srila Prabhupada says. So, if demigods themselves, we are saying, does not give the same result as chanting Hare Krishna, then how can we think of chanting any other names? A lot of fan following now for so many Bollywood stars, or in sports field and other things. They literally make them God, that they so much so that they are thinking, by worshipping them, everything is their life is done. But then it is just one aspect of it. Krishna says, anything, in any kind of opulence or any kind of splendor you see in anybody is just a small spark of mine, Krishna says, right? So how can we make anybody into God, which is very, very, very offensive to the Lord. It's like saying the peon. Again, Srila Prabhupada gives this example, making the thinking that a peon is same as the CEO of the company or the boss of the company. It is not. So the Mayavadis, they say this because they consider, because they have this misconception of that I am also God, you are also God, but only we have forgotten. So Srila Prabhupada says, what kind of God is this who has forgotten that he is God, right? So only the Lord's name or his Swamsha expansions, only they are worth, the names that we have to chant. In fact, we know what is the main meaning that we hear about the word Krishna. What is the meaning? Of course, there are several meanings, but the first meaning we hear about
All attractive one.
Attraction.
Attractive.
Attractive.
Yeah. Actually, Krishna also, right? I read it somewhere. Krish means birth and death. Na means one who takes us away from the cycle of birth and death. That's another. But then we don't come to hear of these kind of explanation or definitions with respect to the other demigods, right? In fact, with any other demigods, when we hear, it is all that when we hear of any katha or anything, you do this, because you do this, you get this. And it is all on the Karmakanda platform. It is not on the platform of devotional service. So we have to be, while we have to be very careful to understand equating the demigods to the Supreme Lord is offensive, but it is equally offensive to be disrespectful to demigods, because demigods are such dear devotees of the Lord that the Lord has given them these positions to conduct the various aspects of things in the universe. So in no way that we have to disrespect demigods. And the best example that we can see, many examples we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam, how Daksha Prajapati disrespected Lord Shiva and did not even invite him to the his yagna, and how until he repented and then he apologized, and in that repentance mood, until then Vishnu doesn't come to that yagna, right? So somebody like Daksha Prajapati can can make this mistake. Then we have to be, Daksha Prajapati is a very elevated soul, right? Now what we have to understand is that the Lord through Daksha Prajapati is showing us that any of us can get into this kind of offensive mentality, and we have to be very careful, right? And then also be careful not to equate the Lord's name to any other demigods, right?
Okay, Mataji, I just want to ask, a demigod word, can we supplement it with devata? Because most of the Hindus don't like this word demigod used by like foreigners. Or means Prabhupada uses this word in their translations, demigod, but the real word for demigod is devata. So means Sanskrit word. So can we use devata like word?
Yes, yes, Prabhu, it can be used. It is devatas only, as you rightly said it. It is more so for the because in the English version, Srila Prabhupada used that, but in India, broadly we can say it as devatas. Okay, yeah. So one more paragraph to go. Sudha Mataji, please kindly go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. So Shukadeva Goswami has recommended to Parikshit Maharaja that in order to be fearless of death, one has to hear and chant and remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, by all means. He also mentions that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sarvatma. Sarvatma means the super soul of everyone. Krishna is also mentioned as Ishvara, the supreme controller who is situated in everyone's heart. Therefore, if some way or the other we become attached to Krishna, he will make us free from all danger. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anyone who becomes a devotee of the Lord is never vanquished. Others, however, are always vanquished. Vanquished means that after getting this human form of life, a person does not come out of the entanglement of birth and death, and thus misses his golden opportunity. Such a person does not know where he is being thrown by the laws of nature. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So many ways Krishna is saying. If you take Bhagavad Gita, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Dridavata, he's saying in the 9th chapter, right? Then in the 8th chapter, if you see, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara Yudhyacha Maya Arpita Mano Buddhir Maya Arpita Mano Buddhir Yo
Mame Vaishyasya Samshayah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu, right? Satatam Kirtayanto Ma. Kirtaniya Sada Hari Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, right? So the two, why always? As devotees, we know that Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. At the time of death, we have to remember the Lord, or Lord or his devotees, right? So for that, why we should do that? Because if we are thinking of anything else or anybody else, then we are going to come back in this cycle of birth and death. And then we don't know how conducive coming back is one aspect, and then we don't know how conducive our devotional service will be. As of now, at least to that much extent, to that much of degree, it is conducive. We want to do devotional service and other things, right? So, and the aspect is we don't know when we are going to die. So if I have to remember Krishna at the time of death, and then I don't know when I'm going to die, so Krishna says, always think of me, right? You see the other aspect. We have seen the face is the index of the mind. We all know whatever thought a person is going through, we may think that others may not realize, they may not know. But then, can be plenty of times when we think we are looking fine. There are people who will come up and say, "What happened? Why are you so tired today? You looking very tired today." Maybe we were really tired, and then we were trying to cover up that to do some service or otherwise, So if we are always thinking of Krishna, who is supreme blissful, so that is what will show on the faces, our faces also. So it has a multi, what to say, like how Krishna, by doing one work, he has multi tasking and multi results. By thinking of Krishna, we are saving our own self first. And the second aspect is, then people who are not in favorable of Krishna, they may wonder, how come this person is always happy, irrespective of what is happening? Happy or at least peaceful. We may not be jumping with joy, but at least they're at peace with themselves, right? So that aspect itself makes people to think of Krishna, which is the dearmost service for Krishna, because that is what he says in the 18th chapter. He says, one who preaches about me is most dear to me. But preaching doesn't mean that I have to sit and give class only for many people, and then that is what is preaching. Our own conduct of life, Srila Prabhupada himself said, Srila Prabhupada, what is it that, what do you mean by saying if we are in Krishna? He says, you're always happy because you're associating with Krishna and Krishna's name, who is not different from Krishna. So you'll always be happy. And in all aspects, how Krishna helps the Sarvatma, the super soul of everyone. So if we think we are alive because of Krishna consciousness, because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, if I remember that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, then immediately I will think with the soul, the super soul is there. Then I'm remembering of Krishna. Otherwise, if you read the 10th chapter and then Krishna says, I am this, I'm the taste of water, then if sun and moon are my eyes, if you think of wind, then Arjuna comes into mind, because Arjuna says, I can control the wind but not the mind, and how Krishna answers, if by practice and vairagya that you can. No, I'm just giving various examples how we can think of Krishna. Okay, if nothing is there, if we are breathing, that itself is a good reminder of Krishna, because he's giving air. I think many of us experienced, or many of at least heard about the experiences, how people became so breathless during COVID, and they realized that they had to pay tons of money just to get oxygen, and then they realized how the Lord was giving everything at free of cost. They realized the value of it, right? So that even in adversity, how one is remembering Krishna, right? If we think somebody is acting so asuric, or somebody is acting very or cheating, you say somebody cheated somebody else or cheated us, Krishna says, I'm the cheater among cheats. I'm the biggest. So various aspects. There is no way that we can forget Krishna. Once after we come to Krishna consciousness, suppose we see a tree, then imagine Krishna says, I'm the super soul. Each tree, one tree has so many leaves, and each leaves there are so many cells. And then in each cell, if each that cell, the leaf, the branch, the fruit, everything is alive, then Krishna is there in everything. The leaf is one color. And if you, in the garden, if you see, it's the same soil, same water, same sunshine, but then each tree, fruit is different color. So it is not just the nature. Up unto Krishna, we came to Krishna consciousness, it was saying, oh, nature is so beautiful. But then the next aspect we go to when we come to Krishna consciousness, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy. If this is so beautiful, imagine who created it as how beautiful it is, right? So by thinking about Krishna, we not only keep ourselves in connection with Krishna, we also help with others who come in contact with us, also help remembering Krishna. So Swami Karya, Swakarya, both, helps us and helps others also. And of course, never gets vanquished. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that 2.40, Krishna says, Swalpampipi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Srila Prabhupada in that translation and purport says, what is that Mahabhayat that we are saved from by chanting or by following Krishna consciousness, is that we don't fall lower than a human life, right? So that is what is meant by devotees are never vanquished, that they never are away from the shelter of Krishna's mercy. Otherwise, we are at the mercy of Maya. So we choose what we want to be. So various ways, right? Even of remembering Krishna time and again. Anything that we see, that is what Chaitanya Charitam. What is that shloka? It says, Sarvatra. Sthavara Jangama Deke, na Deke Thara Murti. Sthavara Jangama Deke. Wherever I see, I don't see any material thing. What do I see? I just see my Ishta Devata, right? So, and that is how Srila Rupa Goswami is trying to help us to connect with Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita through the nectar of devotion, to increase our faith, to increase our devotion in Krishna and our devotional service. Okay. With this, I would like to.
Can't hear you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All of you were not able to hear me, is it? Hare Krishna. Devotees?
We can hear you, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
No, clear, Mataji. Able to hear you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Maybe some issue with who Padma Mataji, you said you were not able to hear. Okay. Thank you, devotees. I thank you. I really thank all of you for this patient hearing, because it was a it's every time a purification for myself, and great mercy of the Guru Parampara and all of you to give me this opportunity to talk about the Lord's devotees, and to associate with all of you, especially in this Damodar month. So I'm extremely indebted to you, and seek all your prayers and blessings to be able to do some service for my Guru. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very wonderful session. So Purnandri Mataji is going to Jagannath Puri Yatra with as well as Radhanath Swami Maharaj. We request Mataji to kindly keep us in your prayers, all of us in your prayers. Pray for all of us. Pay obeisances on behalf of all of us. It's the Prasadam Dham. So as much as possible, get some prasadam and courier it to all of us.
I lead on all your behalf, Mataji.
On behalf of you can offer obeisances and have prasadam on behalf of all of us, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Wonderful session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You belong to Radha Gopinath temple, because I'm also Radha Gopinath devotee. Radha Gopinath temple.
No, Prabhu, there is a yatra that we are going to, that is starting from tomorrow to 21st.
Yes, I know that, because I'm from Radha Gopinath temple, so I just asked are you Radha Gopinath devotee?
I'm a devotee of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
But we are attending this yatra to associate with devotees.
Yeah. Okay. Mataji, one small question.
Mataji, please share some pictures.
Swalpa Mumbai Punya Tarayate Mahato Bhayat. So we are performing a lot of Krishna conscious activities like chanting.
Okay. What happened? Prabhu, you got muted. Virendra Prabhu, you got muted. Hare Krishna. Virendra Prabhu, you got muted. Okay. What to do?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Tell me, Prabhu, so you got muted.
Yes.
Tell me, Prabhu, you were saying something. We are doing a lot of Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Say, I'm doing chanting holy names. I am associating with devotees. I'm reading Prabhupada books. But the main thing is that I'm lacking in getting early in the morning. So that is I'm lacking some. Means you said na Krishna is saying our endeavors, like Swalpam api punyasya trayate mahato bhayat. So there I'm lacking. So will Krishna forgive me for that, like Prabhupada and Krishna, because like Guru has told us to get early in the morning, but I'm not able to do it.
I'm too small to answer this. All I could request you to do is, before you go to sleep, pray to your Guru and Gauranga, saying that I seriously want to wake up in the morning, and these are my problems. Kindly help me to get over it.
Okay.
With that prayer, with the Guru should be able, Guru will definitely help you. Guru and Gauranga will help you.
Okay, because the rest all activities I do, chanting, the reading, everything I do, associate devotees. Only I'm not able to get early in the morning. That's the only where I like Tulsi worship, everything I do.
There should be some hankering in devotional service also, no? If we are doing everything, then that can be also a point of pride. I'm doing everything. So it is good we are not able to do to keep us grounded in one sense, because as such by nature we will say I'm trying to be a best devotee, and Srila Prabhupada says nobody is best of anything, right? I'm repeating Srila Prabhupada's words. So yeah, well, it is good to have that hankering. It is very good. Please pray when you go to, just before you go to bed, pray to Guru and Gauranga that you want to wake up early and chant, and then it will definitely happen. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I think we can close the class. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Namo Namah.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav
Koti
ki
Vaishnavi
jai,
ki
Shri
jai,
Prabhupada
Shri
ki jai,
Prabhupada
Gurudev
ki
ki jai,
jai.
Jai Lord Sitanath Parmanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna
Bol.
devotees, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
devotees.
Mataji.
Meet
Thank you so
Krishna
much,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Next
Dandavat
time
Dandavat
Pranam.
Pranam.
for continuation of chapter 2 of Nectar of Devotion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Haripol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, with your permission, can I end the session, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, please, thank you.
Hare Krishna.